And welcome back here to the PSB Elite 32. I'm Marcus Burnett, joined by J.L. Hemingway. We're bringing you championship action here at Georgia Regents University. This matchup is going to feature the DC Cobras taking on the Baton Rouge Lady Tigers. We appreciate you joining us here on the webcast. It's been a great week of basketball here on the final day of the PSB slate of events here during the live period. Jumping out to a 1-0 lead. It's going to be the DC Cobras here after that free throw opportunity. It'll be DC Cobras ball here with a 1-point advantage early on. Cobras looking to push it the other way. That bucket scored there by Maya Gore. It's going to make it a 3-0 advantage. Three-pointer on the way. It's no good. Ball is going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Cobras. On the Lady Tigers with it. Jump shot off the mark there by Triggs. Rebounded by the Cobras. They'll be fouled on the play. That roster's nowhere near right.
I didn't get the number going over. That's 2 on 1. Come on, sister.
1-2. It's a 3-3 ball game. Sorry for the short delay, trying to make sure we have the rosters, the correct rosters for one of our teams. So bear with us. In the meanwhile, championship action continues. 3-3 ball game. That jump shot off the mark. Offensive rebound pulled in by the Tigers, so they'll get another crack at it. Kiera Scott going to try the three-pointer off the mark, but another offensive rebound for the Tigers. They've gotten 3 in that possession alone. Finally, the Cobras able to get the defensive rebound and come the other way. Offensive rebound paying off there for the Cobras as they make it a 5-3 ball game after that rebound and put back. Scott gonna try another three-pointer. She's off the mark. And last three was attempted by Triggs, not Scott. Last three attempted by Triggs. Able to knock down the jump shot there along the baseline, number 22, Alicia Guidry. Guidry ties the game at 5 with just over 12 minutes left to play here in the first half. Going to have a foul go against the Tigers. Is going to go against 0-0. Brinkley Khalees. A 5-5 ball game here with 11:47 left to play here in the first half. That jumper splashed through the net there by number 13, Wilson. That makes it 7-5. Guidry going to be called for stepping out of bounds there. Ball back over to the Cobras. Pushed ahead. Floater no good off the window there. But rebounded by Yates. Driving along the baseline. Shot blocked initially. That ball going to go off the head of Al Hassan. So it'll stay with the Lady Tigers. Checking into the game for Baton Rouge, number 33, Belle Rayner. This game a little up and down here early on. Both teams trying to get settled here. It's a 2-point advantage for the DC Cobras here early. Shot no good along the baseline. Cobras with the rebound. Number 13, Wilson with it. She's going to get it over to Williams. Williams gets another offensive rebound. Going to send Wilson to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Marcus, we're winding down here in July, the final day of the evaluation period here at Georgia Regents University in Augusta, Georgia. It's been another successful day here at Peach State basketball. DC Cobras, coached by Henry Aglin, has done just a fabulous job with this program out of the Washington, D.C. area over the past few years. It's produced a number of college prospects. And this team here, a little bit younger, going with the youth movement. But definitely showing well on the stage here in Augusta, Georgia, as number 3, Williams hits that jumper.
Williams' jumper makes it a 10-5 ball game in favor of the Cobras. Have a Cobra steal. It's going to result in a trip to the free throw line for Williams.
The importance of taking care of the basketball is tantamount, because not only do you waste an opportunity to score on the offensive end, but oftentimes turnovers lead to other opportunities on the other end. As you see right here, the Cobras getting an opportunity for a couple of free throws. And they convert 1 out of 2. But it's going to be important for the Tigers to handle the ball with sureness, make sure that they don't turn over the ball and give easy opportunities to the Cobras.
Good hustle on the steal, but unable to stay in bounds there is Williams. Mid-range jump shot, no good there. Cobras with the rebound. It's brought back out by Williams. Cross-court pass to Wilson. Three-pointer from the corner is just short.
And that's what we would call a July layup right there, Marcus.
We saw the July jump shot. We got the July layup there. We'll see some of the different July elements that we'll have throughout the course of the day with these players playing a ton of games over the course of the past week.
Yeah, it's hard to fault them, you know, at different times the legs go or, you know, whatever happens. But that definitely won't be making the Chris Watkins highlight reel.
Williams continues to be active here for the Cobras on the offensive end, getting another trip to the free throw line.
You know, talking about Coach Anglin's program with the Cobras, you know, some of the more notable prospects that we've viewed actually here in Augusta over the years, you know, the most notable would have been the Elite 100 caliber prospect, Jeffany Brown, the power forward that signed with Walters State Community College coming out of high school. Now probably the most recruited JUCO prospect in the nation. You know, last year we had a chance to watch his point guard, Breon Huey, that signed with Townsend out of high school. And of course, many of these kids, you know, play for Coach Anglin at H.D. Woodson High School there in Washington, D.C. So when you talk about the lineage of ball players over the years, you know, Coach Anglin knows what it takes to be successful and to put his kids in the right situations.
They currently lead by 6 points. They get it ahead. No good on the floater. Ball wrestled out of there by the Lady Tigers. Now have a foul there against number 4 for the Tigers, Kayla Anderson.
Number 6. Now it's number 7.
8 minutes, 6 seconds left to play here in the first half.
Here we go. Here we go.
We're going to have a timeout in the action. Cobras currently lead by 7. Both teams still trying to get into the swing of things as the game's been relatively sloppy up to this point. But again, as we talked about some of the plays, you know, you definitely can't fault them given the volume of games that they played during the course of July.
Well, that's not going to be an excuse for, you know, either one of these coaches, you know, in the huddle right now. Obviously, you want to play at a high level regardless of what time of the year it is or even, you know, when you're playing. So, you know, both coaching staffs right now are talking about making good decisions, putting themselves in the right position. And quite honestly, the Cobras have done a good job of playing good defense, being in the right spot to get deflections, turn that into the turnovers, into point opportunities. I'm sure Coach Fisher in the Baton Rouge huddle was probably talking about the same thing with his Lady Tigers. Let's see if we can, you know, create some offense, you know, through our defense as well.
No good on the free throw. Ball back over to the Lady Tigers. Shot off the mark there by Rayner. Back in the hands of the Cobras. Williams gonna pass it ahead. Cobras have been able to do a better job of getting to the free throw line.
And you're right. They've been very aggressive, you know, at penetrating, you know, towards the lane area. Baton Rouge, however, facing that Cobra zone defense, has not been able to penetrate as well. And as a matter of fact, Marcus, that sounds like a great name for a little gimmick defense. Call it a Cobra zone defense. You know, you know, like the amoeba defense, or maybe I'm just speaking in coach speak.
No,
maybe it's not resonating
I could definitely see somebody at a clinic on a whiteboard going over the Cobra zone.
The Cobra zone.
(14-5) ball game. Advantage Cobras. They get it over to Wilson. Wilson. Tough shot knocked down there by Wilson, makes it a 11-point advantage. Lady Tigers moving it around. They work it inside. Good job of working it inside, but unable to keep it in bounds there with Sky Jasper. So the ball will go back over to the Cobras.
Baton Rouge going to drop into this little 2-2-1, almost a little tandem zone defense here. Not trying to trap a whole lot, but just trying to speed the Cobras up, hoping to force them into a mistake, dropping back into this 2-3 zone.
.620 and counting left to play here in the first half. Here's Wilson. Tough shot there. She misses. Second attempt is no good. Lady Tigers running. Unable to hold on to the ball, but good hustle to go down to the deck to get it. Both teams hit the deck. Jump ball is going to keep the possession with the Lady Tigers. Lady Tigers to inbound it. Going to be a turnover. Go ahead, Hemi.
I'm sorry. As you can see, Baton Rouge really just having trouble finding rhythm. They don't have that one space creator, whether that be on the perimeter or inside, to be able to make the game easier. I got a number of talented prospects, you know, out here as the Cobras are able to find a few more gaps in the zone defense than Baton Rouge is. You know, in the backcourt, you see Kara Scott right now with the ball, number 5 in white. Number 10, Jewel Triggs. Both of those kids have been to our EBA camps over the years. Scott lines up that shot. Just, it's been a tough go of it for them, you know, early on. Both of those kids are, you know, very good skill kids, but they don't have that one, you know, high post, you know, physical body that they could just dump it into to make the game easier for everybody. And so somebody's going to have to step up and, you know, make some plays for them if they're going to want to cut into this lead for sure.
As the DC Cobras continue to get to the free throw line. This trip's going to be taken by Wilson. Wilson splashes the second free throw. That's going to make it 19-5. We'll have a timeout in the action. We'll take a short timeout with them. When we get back, we'll bring you the final 5 minutes of the first half. And welcome back here to Georgia Regents University. We're on the campus of the Jaguars. Beautiful facilities here in Augusta, Georgia. As we get ready to bring you the final 5 minutes of the first half here. DC Cobras taking on the Lady Tigers. 19-5 ball game. Scott still trying to get going from the outside for the Tigers. They're able to hustle and get the steal. Let's see if they can actually convert on their trip to the free throw line.
We've talked about it all July, the idea of momentum, and momentum really just starts with one play oftentimes. You turn one play into 2 plays and 2 plays into a third, and you got something good happening, and Lady Tigers trying to turn this into something good here with this steal.
Second free throw converted. Lady Tigers pull it to within 13. Getting a steal here is going to be Khalees. And she scores it.
Brinkley Khalees doing a good job at the front of that 2-2-1 press. And look right here. Looky here, Marcus. We've got a couple of good things happening for the Tigers. A couple of steals, couple of layups, and voila, we got momentum.
Definitely on the side of the Baton Rouge squad as that bucket is cashed in by Alicia Guidry.
You know, at this late in the month of July, we've said it so many times before, they've played so many games and so many games in a row, days in a row, traveling, you know, from all parts of the country. Oftentimes, just the ability to play hard is the most important thing. Just not giving up on a play, just making a deflection oftentimes can make the difference between a win and a loss. And hey, let's face it, that, you know, even though in this timeout taken, now this is interesting. The official blew the whistle, thought that the DC Cobras wanted a timeout, blew the whistle, and the ball was thrown away right after the inadvertent whistle. Would have been a turnover. So the best of all worlds for the Cobras. They don't get charged the timeout, and they keep possession of the ball.
And they're able to pick up the loose pieces and get a deuce to push the advantage back to double digits.
Well, the idea that I was expounding upon before that whole instance happened, these college coaches know these kids are tired, and they realize the fact that, you know, the quality of play may not be up to the highest standards. But, you know, what they're looking for is how hard are you going to play? How consistent are you going to play?
Yeah.
Are you going to hang your head, get frustrated after, you know, a mistake? So it's not so much about the first evaluation about, you know, whether or not a kid can play or not. You know, at this point, it's really more about a kid's character. You know, are they going to keep pushing through? Are they going to take leadership? Or are they just going to give up and just kind of cash it in or mail it in, so to speak?
Yep, great point. As number 20, Al Hassan, checks back into the game for the Cobras. Cobras have a 13-point advantage here. 2:30 left to play here in the first half. Nice shot there on the inside, bounces around for a little bit and ends up going down. That bucket made there by number 11, Riley. Triggs going to get called for the travel there. Number 15, Rhymes, checks into the game for the Cobras. They have a 15-point advantage.
big game happening on court 2 here at the Elite 32 Summer Jam. You see Team United with Aaron DeGreat. Down on the other end, several coaches stopping by to take in that game. I see the Tennessee staff with Holly Warlick and some of her assistants taking in that game. Obviously, Aaron DeGreat, one of the top uncommitted post players in the nation, and obviously coming in to see her play is going to be a priority. Taking on Burnell Wesco's South Mississippi Elite team.
Yeah, DeGreat, boy, talk about a rebounder. She's, just on that possession, when you were talking about her, I think she had 3 rebounds there in that one possession.
Yeah, she's a load, comparable to Kalani Brown, another uncommitted 2015 center out of Louisiana. Kind of a similar build and also a big rebounder herself. But coming back to the game in hand, Baton Rouge, they need a spark plug right here. Who's it going to be?
It's a good question. You talk about a couple likely suspects, and number 10, Jewel Triggs, as well as number 5, Kiera Scott. But that role definitely open at this point, and putting her name in the hat, so to speak, there is going to be number 25, Sky Jasper.
Jasper certainly capable of doing that, as you see her come up with yet another steal, now leading the break the other direction. Triggs does a good job of dumping it off there for the lay-in to number 1. Don't have her name here on the roster. We'll get that figured out here in a minute, but like Jasper's length, her activity along the back line, doing some good things here so far.
Another steal by the Cobras. Get it up top to Al Hassan. She misses the first, going after the second. Getting that one to go.
Al Hassan, young kid, 2017. Measure her at 6'5".
Cobras with the steal, pass ahead to Williams, who brings it back out. We'll see if the Cobras will hold for the last shot. Looks like that is what coach has advised them to do. 15 seconds and counting. Ball in the hands of Williams. She gets it to Yates. Yates has 3 seconds to work with. Will they get a shot off? They'll get it off. Good if it goes. It will not. So that will do it for the first half. Thanks for joining us here on Prospects Nation TV. We'll catch you back here after halftime.
Take notes, but I don't know who is.
Relax.
How you doing, Sunshine?
Good, how are you? I don't know if we really initially met. I'm Logan. I know you've been around Brandon for a few years.
Yes.
I have too, been in and out.
Yeah. I usually see you on the last day.
Yeah. Well, actually, I go to school here in Augusta.
Ah, okay.
So it's like he's in my town, so I was like,
just kind of pop in.
when I have time between school and class and everything. But I'm catching you on the end, and I can already tell y'all are like dragging.
Oh, yeah.
I've worked enough with Brandon events to know how it goes. Alright, I know where it's going. The big girl that's on the blue team. She's pretty good. She runs the floor really well. She's got good hands. That's what I figured. What's her size? 6'4"? 6'5"? She's good. Uprising senior?
Is that? You already got that.
Yeah, I've got those names, but they don't. Nothing synchronizes those. Get some notes on the big girl. That'd be.
20.
Her older sister. We actually saw her at the Holiday Invitational. 1 year played for Holy Cross. Ended up playing volleyball.
So I'll just put number 20 on here. Most of my notes are in this class.
Yeah, it's
Oh, this is her?
yeah, this is Allison. Yeah, from Baton. Great. Did not know that. Yeah, that's a good piece of info. That'll fill all of about 20 seconds.
Mommy has a minute.
All right, we're about ready to get the second half started. The DC Cobras versus the Lady Tigers here in championship action here at the PSB Elite 32. Marcus Burnett joined by J.L. Hemingway. We appreciate you joining us here as we get ready to decide this bracket's championship here at Elite 32.
Sure we right with the jump ball, sir? Ref, remember the jump ball right here? With like a minute and a half to go? When I tried to get the timeout, you gave it to White? You said what? What you was about to say though? What? What the good y'all ball? It's gotta be one of our balls.
Ball inbounds as everybody's still keeping their sense of humor going despite all the basketball that's been played. And a nice way to start the second half off as Jewel Triggs gets a three-pointer to go there for the Lady Tigers.
Yeah, Triggs. Nice shot right there. Been a kid that, like I said, has been on our radar for a number of years. Started off, really as kind of, we could have called her a combo forward at one point in her playing days. Always been a high energy kid. As her body is filled out, physically has developed. And now, in many ways, Triggs, not only could, play along the front line, but as you see here these days, is playing on the wing and even in the backcourt at different times. If that jumper, continues to tighten up and become more consistent, and she's gonna make herself a fine college ball player at one school or another because of just the physical tools that she has, which are complemented by her basketball skill set.
Yeah, if she can knock down more of those threes, both her and Kiera Scott here in the second half, it's really going to be able to help the plight of the Lady Tigers as they converge there in the corner. A jump ball going to be called, and that's going to send it over to the Lady Tigers.
Triggs is a kid, as I've mentioned, the fact that she's come to our EBA workouts, a number of different times, from the Super 64, and we even saw her clear back in 2011 at a Rising Stars camp as she finishes that floater there in the lane. And she's benefited by, working with, a number of our skills trainers, and also going against, top competition as Al Hazan gets that fast break layup. And then on top of that, just the evaluation piece that, our company is able to offer, and a nice floater there by number 4, Charlisa Dugas. The fact that we're able to talk, very first person about Triggs. We know her, we've worked with her in drills, we know what her weaknesses are, we know what her strengths are, we know what type of student she is, what type of personality she is. And so when it comes to these elite basketball academy settings, they're valuable in a number of different ways because, we talk to a lot of different college coaches, at various times, and we know that, hey, this kid's she's a real outgoing person, or maybe she's a shy person. So when you talk to her, you get her on campus, this is what you can kind of expect. And that's been the value of what that we've been able to do with our EBA series.
8-point ball game, still in favor of the Cobras. Triggs and company trying to pull it around. Scott no good on that shot. All over the offensive glass though are the Tigers, so they can't hold on to it. Gonna have a foul called back in the backcourt. So the official will bring it back. It'll be DC Cobra ball there along the sideline. Wilson with it. Wilson with the shot off the glass. No good. Al Hassan going after it, but coming away with it's going to be 0-0. Khalees. Layup drill on the other end.
We talked about who could be an energy maker for this Baton Rouge team. Khalees showing that she can fulfill that role, but Al Hassan squashing that momentum real quickly with yet another lay-in.
Using that length there on the offensive glass. The bucket makes it 23-31, 12:42 left to play here in the second half.
Al Hazan actually had an older sister, class of 2014 graduate that ended up at the University of Florida. She was a basketball player in high school, but decided to play volleyball instead. So you can see the athleticism that runs through that family. Now, her sister was listed at 6'4" herself. And nice to be able to say, hey, you know what, I'm pretty good at this basketball thing, but I am pretty good at volleyball too, so I think I'll play that instead.
Options. To have multiple D1 options are always a good thing. 8-point advantage here in favor of the Cobras. Scott gonna try the three-pointer, can't find it just yet. Game of tips played there inside by both teams. Ball's gonna stay with Baton Rouge. Triggs over to Scott. Now Khalees has it back out to Scott. Scott gonna try another three-pointer. Can't get it to go. Good hustle play there by Sky Jasper. Throws it off the leg of the DC Cobra defender, so it stays with the Tigers. Come up, baby. Khalees gonna try 3 of her own off the mark on that. Triggs, she's already got 1 here in the second half. Can't get her second three-pointer to go. Wilson with the rebound in traffic, wrestles it out of there. Fouled on the shot attempt there. That'll create another DC Cobra opportunity at the charity stripe. This one for number 10, Ray. second free throw, good by Ray. And we'll pull the Lady Tigers. I'll make the deficit faced by the Lady Tigers, a 9-point deficit. $11:46 as we play here in the second half. Stepping in for the mid-range Jay and knocking it down there, number 22 for the Lady Tigers, Guidry. Steal by the Tigers in the layup drill, Kiera Scott.
Some pretty good defense, some energy here being displayed by the Lady Tigers. Let's see if they can keep this going here for a sustained amount of time.
Good defensive stop there. Ball last touch by the Cobras. It'll go over to the Tigers. Al Hassan disagrees, but ball over to Baton Rouge nonetheless as they are within 5. Guidry has that shot blocked by Al Hassan. Williams goes down to one knee to get it. Ball's tied up. So it'll go back over to the Cobras. Alyssa Fisher, number 3 in the game now for the Lady Tigers. Wilson kicks it out to Williams. Pass nearly stolen, but Riley still keeps it for the Cobras. Wilson off the mark. Ball ahead. It's going to send Alyssa Fisher to the free throw line. Foul going to go against Wilson of the Cobras. So the Lady Tigers, momentum being on their side the past few minutes or so. They've cut the deficit to 5 points. Can make it a one-possession game potentially here at the free throw line. Hemi, we've had the July jump shot. We had the July layup. Introducing
the July free throw.
Man, gets the second one to go, does Fisher. So that's going to pull the Lady Tigers to within 4 points.
Oh, man.
We have a DC Cobra turnover, so, you know, the Tigers playing hard, trying to get back in this game. Over the past few minutes, they've had some help from the DC Cobras. So we are going to...
Laying there by Belle Rayner, 6'2" power forward, 2015. I like what Rayner has done here in this game. You know, limited spurts come in, provided some energy, gotten some rebounds, played some defense. Like her frame, like her size. She'll be playing college basketball for years to come if she chooses to. I think we're going to get a timeout here. Taken by the Baton Rouge Lady Tigers. And we'll take a break as well, too. back. This is Rayner at the free throw line, shooting 2, misses the first, and makes the second. We've got a little over 9 minutes to play. And that's going to be DC Cobras 35 and Baton Rouge with 31. 4-point game here. Plenty of time to go in this second half. Coming back the other direction, that's the Cobras launching a 3, no good. Offensive rebound's going to be hauled in there by number 13, Wilson, and on the 2-point attempt, she will be fouled. She goes to the free throw line, makes the first. 8:33 left in the second half, 36-31 in favor of the Cobras. She makes that second one, bringing it back to a 6-point lead, 37-31. And Marcus, after timeout, Baton Rouge made a little spurt, cut this thing to 4. And we're right back in this game.
Definitely, more flow in their game on both ends here in the second half than in the first. And on the other end, the Cobras, some of the elements of the game plan that we saw them stick to in the first half, bolts a little loose in here in the second. Trying to go inside here. Good defense on the first shot. Foul on the second there. Foul against Bell Rayner. No good on the first free throw. Second free throw, no good either. So ball in the hands of the Cobras. They have a 6-point advantage. Strong take there. Count that bucket for Williams. Pushes the advantage back to 8 points. Right back at you comes the Baton Rouge Lady Tigers as Kiera Scott gets that bucket.
Kiera Scott is a University of Arkansas Little Rock commitment. She makes that left-handed layup. Coaches from Arkansas Little Rock have been in to watch their future player play, and they see here why they're pretty excited about getting her on campus in a few years. Or in a year, I should say.
Good old Euler. I believe that's where Derek Fisher went to college at. I could be wrong. I'll look that up. Wherever he went to school, that's got to be nice to have a guy that's played that long in the league. Multiple championships there with the Lakers, and to be able to play in the league as long as he played. Definitely a strong accomplishment. 6 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in this ball game. Still a 6-point advantage for the Cobras.
And you're right, Derek Fisher did go to the University of Arkansas Little Rock. Nice call there, Marcus.
Appreciate it, Hemi. I try, man. I try to soak up as much basketball info as I can, man, whether it's where players played at, you know, some of the different players coming up, some of the best sets, and, you know, X's and O information available on sites like CoachHemi.com. You know, hey, man, I gotta soak it all up, man.
Hey, you're a true basketball junkie. And you're right, for you coaches out there that are looking for a couple of new ideas or just like studying the game, CoachHemi.com is for you. But I'll tell you what's for us right now is Charlisa Dugas, number 4, there in white, and she's going to get this steal here. After hitting that jumper, now she's going to go to the free throw line to try 2 more.
So we get a couple substitutions on behalf of each team.
Yeah, I know the University of Arkansas Little Rock people won't necessarily like us mentioning this, but you know, another NBA player from Arkansas, but not necessarily the University of Arkansas, Scottie Pippen.
Scottie,
who went to Central Arkansas, which was actually an NAIA school at that time.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's big. So for those, you know, for those players that, you know, have that D1 or bust mentality, or, you know, or maybe spurning offers or chances to play at schools and levels that might fit their game a little bit better, and, you know, I think that's a good example that, you know, sometimes you just have to go for the best fit. Five-point advantage.
Now, speaking of NAIA players, we'll just keep in this same thread here. Dennis Rodman actually went to an NAIA school back in the day. Southeastern Oklahoma State, as a matter of fact. Although not Arkansas, right there in that part of the country, though.
Yeah, probably the same difference as far as stuff to do. You know, outside of hooping, same difference, man. Can't imagine the nightlife or the featured attractions being any different in southeastern Oklahoma than in central Arkansas.
Good shot there by Jewel Triggs, who knocks that in for the Lady Tigers. Triggs from Thibodaux, Louisiana, down there in that same neck of the woods of, you know, kind of northern Louisiana, Arkansas, Texarkana, all relatively close to what we're talking about right now. A lot closer than, say, Washington, D.C., where these young ladies from the D.C. Cobras are from.
You know, that area, a good area for basketball. I mean, you look at the competition in a lot of the leagues and high school conferences there in that DMV area. Then when you talk about the, you know, even the Wizards are, you know, experiencing a lot more momentum behind their program with those young guys, that young backcourt of Beal and Wall. You know, just some good, exciting things for basketball there in that area. Not to mention having a president there that's probably more in tune with basketball than anybody else we've ever had in the office.
Yeah, you're right. Never had a president in office that goes through the bracketology during March Madness like President Obama.
Four minutes, 8 seconds left to play. The Tigers are within 4 points, and, you know, to me, this game just becomes more and more of a slippery slope and, you know, a dangerous mode for the Cobras, because they had the upper hand, as we see Scott knock that jumper down. They had the upper hand in the first half and essentially a chance to be able to really extend the lead and possibly put the Tigers away, but here it's like the Tigers have the upper hand now.
And you're right, and they've really kind of flipped the script here, even though Al Hassan does get that lay-in. You know, instead of the Lady Tigers making the careless mistakes, lately it's been the DC Cobras, and the Lady Tigers have been able to, you know, get shots to fall, get to the free throw line and such.
Shot inside, no good. Second crack at it. Here's Guidry.
Goodness. Now, several opportunities there for the Lady Tigers, and they kept getting opportunities and more opportunities and just couldn't get any of them to fall.
So it'll go back over to the Cobras as we're approaching just under the 3-minute mark. Here's Williams. Cross-court pass. .246 left to play in this game. 4-point advantage for the Cobras. Triggs has it. It's a good look for. Shot on the way, it's short. Will we have out of bounds on the Tigers? Yes, it'll be out of bounds. Thought that might have been a foul on Al Hassan, but out of bounds off the Tigers, ball back over to the Cobras. Cobras getting through the pressure.
Ooh. Calder, nice slash to the bucket right there. Lady Tigers a little slow on that rotation to take away the drive. And now the Cobras are starting to haul in some of these defensive rebounds that they weren't otherwise getting just a few moments ago.
You talk about Al Hassan just being a class of 2017 prospect and continuing to develop. As we see on the other end, while I was making the point, I had Exhibit A with Erin DeGreat, and the way she was working inside and using her advantage as far as that length to kind of rebound and put that shot away. I think with Al Hassan, as you continue to see her develop, you'll see her take some of these opportunities that we see the Tigers getting and be able to eliminate those for her opponents. Just getting a little bit more veracity when it comes to the glass on both ends.
Veracity. Good word.
Appreciate it, man. I actually I worked in, I get a bonus, for using certain words. So
Who pays you?
Oh, you already know, Hemi. You already know, Chief.
I need that bonus, man.
No doubt, man. I got another word. Veracity was word number 1. I got a second one that I'll go ahead and say for you. You can drop it in the next broadcast.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I got you, Chief. Minute 45 and counting. Good floater there to push the advantage to 8 points.
Good floater there by Priest. Really flipping the tables here, even though it looked like Baton Rouge was going to make this a game late. DC Cobras have come up with a run of their own to run away with this a little bit late here in this game. Minute 24 left in the game so far.
As I mentioned earlier in the webcast, be sure to stick with us for our last 2 games of the day and of the summer. As we'll have All Ohio Black versus Exodus NYC up next. And then we will end the night with the Boise Hoop Dreams out of Idaho taking on South Mississippi Elite. 50-40 ball game. Coach seeing the defense that he wants to see from the Cobras. They're on that possession. Advantage push to 10 with just over a minute left to play.
It's a big jump ball right there. And just a minute left. You're in desperation time if you're the Baton Rouge Lady Tigers. Oh, they're going to get a 10-second call here. It's going to be important now that you know, with a 10-point deficit, every possession's got to be productive.
Yeah.
You need points really every time you get the ball.
All right, we're ready to resume play from the timeout. Foul there along the baseline. So if you're the Lady Tigers, you get chances to go to the free throw line here and be able to score without the clock moving.
Yeah, a critical mistake here by the Cobras. Never want to give them an opportunity to score with the clock stopped, but at the same time, a great opportunity for the Lady Tigers to get back in this game.
Second free throw missed, but an offensive rebound. Another offensive rebound. Al Hassan gets her hands on that one to be able to chop it down. And we're going to have a foul against the Lady Tigers. Correction, we're going to have a timeout. Timeout called.
Timeout before the foul.
Cobras to inbound it. Got a 9-point advantage with 41 seconds left to play. Foul there. That's going to send Wilson to the free throw line. Cobras get an offensive rebound. And we'll get more free throw practice here.
At this point, it's just a matter of taking care of the basketball and making free throws, Marcus. DC seems poised to be able to take this thing home.
Most definitely, you can see their coaches really just emphasizing just, you know, the small things that it takes to be able to stay on top here in this one and see the win through.
Good defense, so everybody, right? Hey!
Kind of sums up the Lady Tigers' day right there. Get a rebound, get an outlet pass, good thought, just a little bit errant. A tough day for them.
Got more free throws by the Cobras. Lady Tigers still fighting. Layup on the other end by Kiera Scott. Makes it 43-51. And that will do it here. The DC Cobras victorious over the Baton Rouge Lady Tigers.